Hello, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting my channel. My name's Stuart. I'm a classical record collector. I collect vinyl and I listen to vinyl. I only listen to CD in my car. I don't listen to anything digital, more or less, apart from digital LPs. So thank you for coming back and watching my videos. And what I'm going to be talking about today is some of the record shops that I've been into recently. I've got photographs which I'm going to show you of record shops I've been into. So I've been into two record shops. One is an HMV store in Scotland, and another one is a store in Glasgow called Asai Records, who are an independent record shop. So first of all, Asai Records. There's a photograph of me standing in the shop, a couple of photos. So you can see that I've been there. I'm not pretending I've been there. I really have been in this record shop. Now, I knew that when I went in there would be next to no classical. I know that the revival of vinyl is predominantly built on pop music, etc., and not really classical. Although I understand that Deutsche Grammophon and some of the other labels are releasing records, are releasing actual vinyl recordings, which I would be interested in actually, particularly on some, recent artists. But unfortunately, in Asai Records, I didn't find any classical records. It's a very nice shop. It's spacious. The records are very nicely laid out. They're very well organized, and the stock is very good quality. I'm impressed with the record covers, the feel of the covers. They seem to be really good quality. The artwork, the photographic work on the covers is really, really good. And I can understand why a lot of people, young people even, are actually favoring vinyl instead of digital or even CDs. If you're going to listen to CDs, I suppose you might as well listen to streaming because it's digital sound. And if I was satisfied with CDs, then I would just open a Spotify account and stream everything through Spotify. But I never was really 100% satisfied with CDs. I've listened to them in my car, but playing them at home, I tend to get bored listening for some reason. And it was only recently, relatively recently, when I started listening to records again, to vinyl again, that I understood what I've been missing out on. The music comes to life a lot more. It's a lot more compelling to listen to when it's on vinyl, even if they're digital LPs. I don't know the reason for that, but anyway, that's how it is. Yeah, so I was impressed with the sheer selection. No, sorry, not the sheer selection in Asai Records, because the way that the vinyl was laid out, I wouldn't say there was an absolutely huge stock for the amount of space that they had in there, and they were a 100% vinyl shop. I was impressed that they were playing actual records on a record player, and they had music going. I think it was a little bit too loud in there. I think they could have turned it down a bit. And I'm not really too fussed about music being played in a record shop at all. I would probably prefer it if it wasn't, because I like to concentrate on the covers and selecting the music rather than listening to a piece of music that's been selected by somebody else. But that's just my own preference. Okay, so while I was in there, when was it? It was a late Saturday afternoon. There were no other customers there, actually. There was a few people behind the counter, and I didn't notice anybody obviously buying anything. So it was fairly slow, but I understand that they're doing fairly well, and they've got one or two other shops. So let me move on then to HMV. So I went into the HMV store in a Scottish town on Sunday afternoon. Big store. They sell not just vinyl, they sell gaming products and all sorts of merchandise. So I went to the back of the store. You can see here are the photographs of me standing. I'm holding Pulp Fiction in one of them, film soundtrack, and Dark Side of the Moon, which is probably my favorite non-classical album. Dark Side of the Moon, absolutely legendary album. And from the first time I heard that album, I didn't hear it, in fact, until the mid '80s. I'd heard a lot of what I thought was hype. I thought, oh, it can't be that good. It won't be as good as The Wall. It's all hype. No, it's not all hype. With The Dark Side of the Moon, when I listened to it, it was like listening to. It made the same impact on me as maybe listening to a great symphony for the first time. It was absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, The Dark Side of the Moon is one that I might be tempted to buy. So the prices in the HMV store, most of the records were £25 a piece. They had a deal going on, which is three for £55, which I think is actually quite a good deal. It sounds like a lot of money, £25 for an LP, but going back to the 70s, I bought an album and it was about £4.50 in those days. Money is now worth 10 times less, so a pound then is like £10 now. So if you multiply by 10, that album I bought in the 70s was like £45 worth. And now you can buy them for, okay, £25, three for £55. I think they're actually quite well priced. So if I was listening to the kind of music they had for sale there, if I wasn't listening to classical, then I would probably be buying some of those records, except for the fact that, for example, if I want Dark Side of the Moon, which I will buy, I'll probably get the original LP, an excellent condition copy for, I don't know what I'll pay, probably about £20 or so, £25 maybe. I'll get it in analog, the original analog recording on an analog LP with no digital involved whatsoever. I think will sound better than a digitally remastered LP. Some of you may disagree, but I think that will probably be the case. I've already ordered one. In the 70s, I was a Blondie fan. In fact, I still am. I still think they're a fantastic group, amazing music, and I want to get all the first five albums that they did. And I managed to buy Eat to the Beat on eBay for about £10, including shipping. It's supposed to be an excellent condition copy. I'm hoping it will be. But of course, I could have bought 3 Blondie albums for £55, but all digitally remastered. If possible, I want it to be analog. I think the sound quality is better. Even if there's a bit of tape hiss, studio tape hiss or whatever, I still think it's going to be better. But anyway, just coming back to the actual record shop, in the HMV store, I must admit I was amazed at the selection that they had. Was absolutely fabulous, just like the old days, just like the old times, going into a record shop in the 70s when there would be, deep rows of records to flick through, and it was like that in the HMV store. There was an absolutely phenomenal selection, and a very pleasant young man came and spoke to us, an assistant. He was only about 20 years old. He's a vinyl freak, and he was telling us that he buys vinyl, and he listens. He doesn't listen to CD. He doesn't stream. I saw customers in there who are young. In fact, if you look at one of the photographs, you'll see that there are 2 young people looking at records, and the market seems to be being driven by mainly younger people who prefer listening to vinyl. They buy it in different colors, and it's collectible. Of course, for me, it's all about sound quality. I like the physical product, of course I do, but it's the sound quality that really convinces me that it's worth listening to. So yeah, the HMV store was really good. It's just a terrible pity that the classical selection, when I found it, was absolutely pitiful. They only had about 6 records in the classical selection, and they were like compilations, Essential Mozart, that kind of thing, and of no interest to me whatsoever. I was really disappointed that there was no decent classical selection. Really disappointed. So I suppose if I want to buy new vinyl in classical, I'll have to get it by mail order. To be fair, the young man did say that he could order in anything that we wanted if it was available, which is a good service, of course. So yeah, I think that of the 2, I much preferred the HMV store. SI Records was nice as well, a bit more sort of trendy looking. And yeah, both great to see vinyl doing so well. Great to see vinyl finally triumph over CD. And the CD section in The HMV store was lamentable. It was pitiful, and there was absolutely nobody looking at it at all. So I think we can really safely say that vinyl has prevailed over CD. Okay, it won't prevail over streaming because it's still just a small percentage of the market, and streaming is so incredibly convenient. I know somebody who's got Alexa, and I was amazed that you could just say, Alexa, can I listen to, I don't know, should we say Mozart's 40th Symphony with Herbert von Karajan conducting, and it will find it and play it just like that. Unbelievable, unbelievable convenience. But that's not what it's about for me. What it's about is the best possible listening experience. So that's why I go for vinyl. Okay, thanks a lot. Share any of your experiences if you want on record stores. Have you been into any new record stores? Did you find a decent classical selection, or like me, were you desperately disappointed? Thanks for watching. Goodbye.